Hi, Rhet351. You might have gotten my email about how on February 18th, on Thursday, I'm not going to go over a couple of the things I would have gone over in class. I want to respect those of you who need a little more time to deal with our tragedy here. So, to make sure you still get some of that content, I'm going to make a couple of videos. This is the first one where I'm going to go over a couple of my thoughts about the job search project. You can see I have open here a Google Drive window. This is Google Slides that I'm asking you to use for your presentation. It's going to look a lot like a PowerPoint, right? Where the slides are over here, you can click through. I'm actually going to present it and walk through really quickly the presentation I would have done in class. Won't take long, don't worry. My first reaction is, wow, I really feel honored that you all shared so much with me of your lives. I kind of forget the emotional impact of that as I assign something and then I read it and I'm like really impressed by your experiences, by your jobs, by your volunteerism, all the things you've done. So thanks for that. It really is a big deal. Second thing, I want to tell you a little bit more about how I graded these. I know the rubric is in some ways clear and in some ways not clear. So one thing I found myself adjusting was that content, you couldn't get an A on these things in the content score if I didn't know how you were targeting the ad. I mean, that's really how I'm judging your content, right? If you're saying, I was being rhetorically effective, I was being like that sniper, specifically to attack exactly what they said they wanted. Another thing is that the organization score, in some ways, as I was grading these, it kind of turned into an organization and style and visuals and design score. So in other words, if you're like, why did I get bad organization score? I put that above that, and that makes a lot of sense. Well, it might be because there was something that was visual or spatial, including font choice, including profile picture choice, things like that. That was in the organization score, just so you know. Style, just so you know, it included anything related to word or punctuation choice at all. So when I say style, I mean sentence style. I mean these words were grammatically, mechanically correct. The sentence sounded strong and powerful in appropriate ways, and if there were lists on the resume that didn't look parallel, that would hurt your style score, just so you know. We can talk more about that in the future if you want. One of our biggest areas to grow, and I really want to talk about this in the future, I wonder if you can guess, it's wordiness. I know this is something that's in the linguistic mode. I know we've been talking a lot about the other modes, but let me show you a couple of examples really quick here. A lot of times people would use so many ing words that it would get really, really bulky. Read that sentence there. I think so many ing words tend to make a sentence feel bulky. It slows people down. Remember when we went over the BWC books advice and how so much of their advice focused on ease of understanding and speed, and I think that's one thing wordiness hurts. Another aspect of wordiness is when you used kind of twice as many words as usual. I mean twice as many words as necessary. You know what I mean? Sometimes the shorter, more direct is better. I know we think, oh, we have to be fancy. I think part of what we need to do later in this class is think, how can we be fancy yet also strong and direct? Some things I wondered about. Sometimes I wondered if you noticed when PDFs went onto the second page. If your Word doc goes onto the second page, you make a PDF. It's going to be a two-page PDF. It's not a big deal, and it didn't affect your grades. But if you're applying to a job, you don't want to do that. You don't want this blank PDF page. So one thing to keep in mind. I also wondered if you noticed when you used inconsistent capitalization or periods. And on resumes, that stuff gets a little wonky. There really aren't a lot of really clear rules about like you must use complete sentences. There must be periods at the end. You must capitalize this or this or this. It's inconsistency that looks especially weird. So sometimes I was like, did they notice that? If they read it one more time, would they have? Do we need like a lesson on that? Let me know. Another thing I wondered about vagueness on the MGC. I actually really wondered sometimes. I was like, did they just kind of rush through this? And again, this isn't everyone, but some of you, I thought, did they just rush through this really fast? Or was it we need to talk this through more about how to be specific? More ways to say, instead of like, I made certain changes, to like really zero in on specific changes that you made. I think related to that, well, let me finish this. I think the MGC overall, it's not a summary. It's not a I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. It's a director's commentary. It's a I made this choice, and I made that choice on purpose because I wanted you to see this. Oh, you're going to hear me say throughout this semester, I really want to see evidence of you being purposeful. I want to see evidence of you making a choice that you made because it helped you in your goal. If you really strongly defend yourself in that way, it gets really hard for me to say like, well, I don't think that was the right choice for that goal. Sure, sometimes I will, but I like the the sense of you being an authority here. You're the author, you're the authority, right? And this is my last thing, kind of related to the vagueness thing, is that in the cover letters, I did see a similar vagueness there, where there would be kind of this, um, you should hire me because, because I have all this experience that you want. And sometimes I was like, kind of waiting for you to say, I did this in this job, and that will prepare me for this. Or your job ad said you want this, therefore I can help you in this specific way. Sometimes I was like, come on, give me the specific, and I didn't see it there. So I think that's a revision thing. I think it means that once you have a draft, going back and asking yourself, did I have really, really specifics to back up all of my claims? I mean, this is in some ways no different than like a paper you might have written in Rhetoric 101, 102, right? Like your traditional academic essays. Backing up your claims with evidence. It's really similar here, except now it's kind of easier because it's your own life, your own experiences are the evidence. Okay? That's actually, I think, I'm waiting for the slide to change all that I've got here. So I am going to let you go.